A very good afternoon, everyone who's watching Chris on Real Talk. It is Friday, the 11th of September 2020. Thank you very much for joining me. So, I hate to be the one to say it, but I told you so, didn't I? Didn't I tell you so? Didn't I say over and over again that the R number will be going up? Didn't I say there would be a second peak? And I know it was inevitable. I'm not the only one who predicted a second peak, but it's on the way up again, isn't it? So, who's to blame? Who is to blame? Hello, Roy West. How am I today? Concerned and annoyed is how I'm feeling today, Roy. It's getting to a point where people that are furloughed, like myself, yes, I am still furloughed, and who are still high risk. Yes, I am still high risk. And there are thousands of people in this country in the exact same position that I am in, that want to get back to work but can't, because we're either still furloughed and or still high risk. And sooner or later, every single one of us of working age who are high risk, who were shielding, who are still furloughed, there's going to come a point where we are going to have to go back to work, whether we like it or not, regardless of whether we're high risk or not. There's going to come a point where we're going to have to be forced back into the circulation. So what can we do in the R number? Well, there's a number of things we could say were contributing factors. There's the protests, there's the demonstrations on both sides of the equation when it came to BLM earlier this year, and I'm a supporter of the cause for Black Lives Matter. I am not a supporter of the organisation which has claimed Black Lives Matter and are using it as a weapon, and are weaponising it against everyone else. The cause is fantastic. We need to cut systemic racism. We need to stop it. But what we also need to stop are far left groups saying that they're protesting and destroying things on behalf of what is right, when what they're doing is stirring up hatred and causing more of a divide. But a lot of people that went and protested, and rightfully so too, months ago, you need to remember, and I did say this, one person gets it 2 weeks for it to come out, yeah? And then that person spreads it without knowing it, give it 2 weeks to come out, and so on and so forth. And a few thousand people that went into a protest, a lot of people would have had no contact with anyone with coronavirus. All you needed was one or two. That's all you needed. One or two people, without knowing they've got it, to go into the population and cough. And slowly but surely, it's creeping back. So that's one reason why it's back, not the exclusive only reason. A lot of people that are between the ages of 18 and 30 are being blamed for the upsurge in coronavirus cases. And it's not exclusively 18 to 30-year-olds, because I know a lot of people do like to go out and have a drink. A lot of people have been. I understand that. Not the sort of thing I would do, But I understand why people were doing it, and it was the wrong decision to make. I personally think everything could have been dealt with a hell of a lot better, a hell of a lot sooner, and a hell of a lot more tougher. But who am I to say anything? I'm just the Joe Blogs. I'm a nobody. I have no say in anything. I'm just a guy who has a YouTube channel, a very small YouTube channel that no one pays attention to, and yet here I am saying, I told you so, didn't I? So I'm getting quite annoyed with the entire situation. Realistically, I'm getting frustrated beyond belief. What job is COVID secure? So you've got people that work at the gym. I've been going to the gym. That place is COVID secure. And by COVID secure, I mean a place where every precaution possible has been taken to make sure that place is safe and clean, which means you have to book your appointments before going. You can't just rock up to the gym and jump on something. You need to book, and if there are no spaces, you can't go. When you get there, there are no changing facilities. You wear your gym clothes in, you wear the same gym clothes out. Before you touch anything, you need to make sure that it is cleaned before and after you use it by basically cleaning it yourself. I mean, each machine and each gym is cleaned, the one I go to anyway, in between each session, and each customer must clean the equipment themselves before and after they use it. There is also extremely strong alcohol-based hand sanitizer, as well as the cleaning solution which would strip the paint off of walls. It is clean, it is hygienic, it is, as far as I'm concerned, safer than going into Primark. I have no issue with people going to the gym, providing that people clean the stuff before and after they use it also. That to me is a COVID secure job. Public transport. This is another blame factor I'm gonna bestow upon everyone. Public transport is another reason for the spread of COVID-19 within the country, in particular in our fair capital, London, of which I reside. People were not social distancing correctly. People were thinking that it's okay to stand up someone's arse just because they're wearing a mask. No, that's not okay. You may have a mask, but if you have space, you must give 2 meters. If you cannot give 2 meters because there is not enough space, then 1 meter plus mitigation, which means a face covering and a good splodge of hand sanitizer, which, to be fair, most of us should be keeping in our back burner anyway. But no one's doing that, are they? The amount of people I know that get onto buses with no mask or face covering because they think it doesn't apply to them. Yes, it does. It applies to everybody. And then there are exemption passes. There are exemption passes which can be printed off from the .gov website. It is blue. And I understand the need for this. I didn't believe it to be real at first, but it is real, and there is an exemption pass which you can print off. I know this because we printed one off and laminated it just to see how easy it would be. Now, you do not need a medical exemption certificate in order to print this off? No, anyone can print this off, which means if you feel like you don't want to wear a mask one day, you can literally flash this bit of paper and you are exempt, whether you are medically exempt or not. And people that have been flouting this, you are to blame. I understand there are people who cannot wear a mask because wearing a face covering increases the amount of CO2 in your system. You are getting less oxygen into your system. And I understand that if you are asthmatic, that's going to be a problem. I understand if you have other respiratory illnesses or diseases, emphysema, COPD, if you are asthmatic, I understand that you may not need to wear a face covering or a mask. You are exempt. But instead of printing this bloody slip out, you should be having a medical exemption in order to print off said pass. It just drives me mad that anyone can do this. And I see people wearing their face covering, I see them wearing their masks under their chin or below the nose. That is the exact same as going out into public wearing your underwear below your bollocks. It serves no purpose. And then there are people out there that point blank refuse to wear a mask because they say it doesn't protect me. Me, 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 me. Selfish people. The mask isn't designed to protect you so much. It is designed to catch droplets that come from your breath and any kind of virus which are contained within those droplets get caught in said mask. If it is disposable, the best thing to do, and this is common sense, is you put it into a plastic bag. They are cheap enough, you can get them for £1. You can get boxes of bags for £1 with Ziplocs on them. You put your spent mask in the bag and then you dispose of it sealed into a bin where no one can come into contact with it. If you have a non-disposable face covering or mask, wash it every day. Have several of them. Have one for every day of the week. Do not just wear a mask, put it in your bag or put it in your pocket. Then the next day take the same mask, then wear it, then put it in your bag and put it in your pocket. It makes absolutely no sense. That is the same as wiping your ass with shitty toilet paper over and over and over again, isn't it? This is what people do not understand. You need to make sure you have a clean mask every day. If not, have several every day. Don't just use the same bit of toilet paper, and this is a good analogy. Wipe your ass with a clean piece, then fold it over, then put it in your pocket. And then when you need to wipe your ass again, pull out the same shitty paper and then grace your ass with that same shitty sheet and then fold it back over again and put it back in your pocket for the next day. This is what people are doing with masks and their face. So you idiot people out there that are doing exactly what I said you're doing with face coverings and masks, you are also to blame for the rise in the R number within the United Kingdom. Schools opening. Now I understand our children need an education. My children are at school themselves. I have a year 7 and a year 1. They are back at school and they are doing the best they can. But I have told my children and they understand and they adhere to it. 5 years old and 11 years old. They know what social distancing is and they stick to it. They even do it at school to the point where teachers have said to me, he's very good with social distancing, isn't he? Yes, he is. Do you know why? Because I've taught them both not to be idiots. Overcrowding on buses, overcrowding on tubes, house parties. My God. And what makes it even worse is the fact that even when Boris Johnson does say something that is clear, which is, if you can go to work, but take precautions. If you are able to work from home, then work from home. I understood what he said when he said that. A lot of people took the piss and thought, oh, I don't know what he's saying. It was easy. It was easy. And then there was the social distancing with groups of up to however many people. And then people got confused over that. And then overnight, I managed to see people of groups of 30 and 40 plus not social distancing. Really? You all seem to live under the same roof then, because there's 37 of you, all in one little group outside. That's not social distancing, is it? And no. And for everyone who thought the rules didn't apply to them, or for those of you who thought that you are invincible and that nothing would happen, shame on you. You have, excuse me, I'm losing my words because I'm so pissed off. You have been part of the problem, not part of the solution. The solution to this pandemic, the solution to this coronavirus is literally to stay away from people and follow social distancing rules. If you find yourself showing symptoms of coronavirus, which is a new and persistent cough, and people are getting confused with what is a persistent cough. If you find yourself coughing throughout the day at irregular intervals, but it will not go away, that is a new persistent cough. If you find yourself having chills and you find yourself that you're cold when you shouldn't be, I've got some news for you. You have a fever. That is a symptom of coronavirus. If you find that you're having to add more and more seasoning and more chili to your dinner because you can't taste it, or someone farted and it stinks and you can't smell it, I've got some news for you, bucko. That is a symptom of coronavirus. Then no one has been taking it seriously. There are people out there that have had all of these symptoms, or one of these symptoms, and have still gone out into the general population without isolating and telling their employer, sorry, I'm showing symptoms of coronavirus. I need to isolate for 2 weeks, plus another week for this, that, and the other. People haven't been doing that. Have they? No. People haven't been following the rules. And if it was down to me, to have this sorted out, I would have had it sorted out months and months ago. I would have enforced lockdown. I would have made sure that there was curfew. I've said this over and over again. Public transport still, at this point, should only be for children and key workers and for those travelling to help those who are unable to leave. Just because shielding has officially finished doesn't mean that people should stop shielding. I should be shielding, but I am not, because I unfortunately have things to do. And I will take every single precaution to keep myself safe and others around me safe. And make no mistake, if I'm in a public place and you are standing up my backside, believe me when I say this, you are going to have a mouthful of abuse hurled in your direction, and you will get out of my personal space, because if you don't, I will take you as being some kind of aggressor towards me, and I will be forced to defend myself. Yes, I will. And that's not a threat, that is a promise, a stone cold fact of life. And this is the same what people should be doing up and down the country. All of these different buzzwords and phrases that the government have come out with: stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. That was the first one, which is true. People should have stayed at home. People should have protected the NHS, and people should have saved lives. And then it got to stay alert. Oh, look, it's behind you. And now I don't even know what it is now. Buzzwords and phrases to make it sound like they know what they're doing. They don't. Basically, you need to protect yourself. If you are out in public and you have no other choice but to be out in public, be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you have personal space. Give other people personal space. Because of idiot people out there that have not done those basics, the coronavirus, COVID-19, is now rearing its ugly head back again. And it's only going to get worse, because as we move into the autumn and winter months, we're going to see a surge in not just COVID-19, no. We're going to see a surge in cold, common cold, which if you get the cold or get a cold and then get COVID-19, you are fucked. People that will get the flu. And believe it or not, COVID-19 is not the flu. It is a type of flu. The same as the flu is a type of coronavirus. And it isn't the coronavirus, it is a type of coronavirus. The same as every single one of these cars all have one thing in common. They are all cars, but they are all different, aren't they? Yes, they are. So there we go. Who's to blame? Who do you think is to blame for the rise in coronavirus cases? Who do you think it is? And another thing which is really grating on me at the moment is this government's lack of action on people coming across the channel on dinghies. The amount of people that are coming across the channel on dinghies, fighting fit, strong men, really fighting fit, strong men that are scared for their lives, that have had nowhere else to go but across the channel on dinghies to come here, and the amount of them that have COVID-19, and yet we house them. We put them up in 5-star hotels, and before any of you leftist arseholes decide to start calling me a liar and to get a grip, this is actually happening. They are coming across, and but don't get me wrong, I've got no issue with genuine people who are claiming asylum, which are genuinely fearful for their lives. I have no issue with that at all. But people that come over for the sake of being put up in a swanky hotel for free, being fed for free, and then have not one lick of English to speak to anyone, and then the only words that come out of their mouth is waiting for house. And yes, this is happening. I have seen it. It is not made up. It is not a lie. It is the truth. Adding to the population, do not understand a word of English, cannot speak the language, and have coronavirus, and do not know what social distancing means, let alone being able to enact upon it. Please, someone explain to me what is going on. I've said this before. I know France is taking an astronomical amount of asylum seekers and refugees, but for these men that are coming across the channel on dinghies, are these boats lined up like Ubers? Are they lined up like Ubers? Because these boats, I've been told, are bought in the UK. How can they be bought in the UK and then magic themselves over to France? They must be lined up like Ubers, because the French, as far as I'm concerned, are telling them, there's a boat, here's a handbook on how to get things free in the UK, here's a slap on the arse, bosh, see you later, adios, au revoir. Good luck in the UK. Yeah? Take your coronavirus with you. Go spread it to the English. They don't care. Who is to blame realistically? Well, I've got that off my chest. Coronavirus ain't going anywhere. You know, it's going to be with us for a while. And I stand by the numbers, by the way, that I said. And for those of you that have been keeping track on the numbers, yes, the numbers appear magically to have gone down. Yes, they have. We're apparently only nursing around about 40,000 deaths. Really? That's interesting. It's funny how the government move the goalposts when things start looking worse than what they want them to be, isn't it? So the death figures have gone down, apparently, and over 5,000 people have magically come back to life apparently, according to the government. But I stand by the figures, and by the time it's roughly March, April, May next year, I think we're going to be looking at over 100,000 deaths in the UK from coronavirus alone. I haven't been wrong yet. Not once have I been wrong. And if I ever am wrong, you know, I would hold my hands up and say, you know what, my bad, I was wrong. But I was right on everything else. So on that lovely little bombshell, I'm going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic Friday. Stay at home if you can. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Sing happy birthday. See you later. Take care. Much love.